Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. So, I usually don't do a lot of television reviews on my channel, but I feel so strongly about this show that I just felt compelled to talk about it, and that's Netflix Dark. I've made a few mentions of it here and there about what an incredible show it is, and I just want to make a case for anyone who hasn't watched this show to just stop this video right now if you're watching and just watch it or start it, because I think that it is best to go into this show cold, as I did. I don't even know how I even heard about it, except maybe I just saw a review or something, or saw some mention of it. It looked intriguing. The visuals, I think, were the first things that caught my eye, and it is beautifully shot, but the cinematography never overshadows the story. And that's one of the things among many that I really loved about this. So I want to just make a case for this without really even giving anything of it away. So when I finished watching this show, I said to my husband, I don't think I've ever watched like a science fiction show or even a horror show. I mean, there are some horror elements in Dark that was so intellectually stimulating and also emotionally satisfying. What's going on with the characters is really fun. If you love a good soap opera like I do, this really satisfies. You could just watch it on that level, and a lot of the stuff, like the existential themes, which there are a lot, oh my gosh, there's philosophy in it, there's quantum physics, there's literary references, biblical references, Hermetic occultism, German philosophy, like all kinds of stuff that you can explore if you want. There are a lot of characters and it can be confusing, but it does do it slowly, I have to say. And then it also does these cool things where every episode has a montage with like a really cool song that makes you want to buy the song immediately, and kind of helps to regroup what happened in the episode. So the show is a trilogy. There are 3 seasons, and they do tie up the threads pretty well. I was worried, and a lot of other reviewers were saying that in the 3rd season it was getting near the end, and I'm like, how are they going to pull this all together? And they did introduce some new characters that I was a little bit like, but it did all come together. So there are 3 cycles. The number 3 is a very important symbol in this show. The creators of this were very ambitious with their writing, with their themes, and the fact that the people that do love Dark really love it. It's very encouraging that a show this intellectual, this creative, can really grab an audience. To me, that's great news, because then more shows will be made like this. And I think those creators are already slated for another show, which would, or maybe more than one, which would be great because they're super talented. Oh my gosh, I wrote down some literary references. We have Dante, we have Theseus and the Minotaur, the portals based on wormhole theories, the secret societies, there's occultism, Christianity, an incredible, gripping central love story that really brings this whole thing together. A young teenage couple in love. They have great chemistry. They're both beautiful. You're rooting for them. I won't tell you what happens, but it's very satisfying, and the actors are great. There are all kinds of intrigues going on with the other characters. There are affairs, there's cheating, betrayals. I remember seeing this quote by Francis Ford Coppola when there's a really great documentary about the making of Apocalypse Now, where he says that his great fear is making a really shitty film about an important theme. I feel like this could have happened with Dark, but they nailed it. And that is an incredible accomplishment, because they set the bar so high with their themes, with their subject matter. It could have easily turned into something really dumb, like the last season of Game of Thrones. It doesn't disappoint the way some of these other shows have. Not that I didn't love Game of Thrones, I really did, but yeah, the last couple of episodes, the fans were right, that it was bad. And although I didn't watch all of the show like Lost, I did watch a couple episodes of that. a lot of the fans felt that, expressed that too, that they were kind of making up as they were going along, that they didn't really have a good conclusion. Dark really did set out to take all of those threads and make it make sense. It has a sense, there's a theme, there's so many themes in the show, but one of the themes is the clockwork. In fact, one character is always saying tick tock, tick tock. There's a clockmaker in the show that's a very important character, and it does fit together like a Swiss watch or a German watch. I like how they really fit the puzzle together. It's very satisfying. This is a show that rewards close viewership. Just like a good book that has a lot of depth, you can't have any distractions when you watch it. You can't be on your phone when you're watching it. You just have to really pay attention. And if it grabs you, it's going to grab you. It might not grab you, but for the people that it does grab, we go all in, It's great. This show goes into some really dark places. It is called dark for a reason. It is dark visually, but thematically it's very dark. I can't remember a show or even a film in recent years that would show violence against a child or children the way this show does, where you can't believe what's going to happen, and yet you do understand it. It kind of plays with your mind that way, and in season 3, there is one episode, the 5th episode, that is very violent, and it really goes into a deep place. There's a scene with a mother and daughter that destroyed me. Just the writing alone is brilliant. The filmmaking is brilliant. The acting is excellent. They paired up these different actors who look so much like each other, that cross like different generations of ages. It's very clever. The costume design, of course, I always notice that stuff is dead on. For example, when they go back in the 80s, they didn't just go for the 80s cliches. I felt like this is the German 80s, which was different and darker with what was happening politically at the time during the Cold War than the 80s in the United States that I lived through. It has, the whole show has a darkness to it, but that doesn't make it depressing because there's also humor. And I think the soap opera elements of the show, the high drama, elevates some of that darkness, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to let anyone know who's been on the fence to check out this amazing show. It's one of the best. It does have a very high rating on Rotten Tomatoes if you want to check that out, audience and critics. So if that's not enough to convince you, I don't know. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there to say I love dark, and I hope that you check it out. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.